Tonight on CTV3 News, Prime Minister John Briceño not surprised by IMF's recent report on Belize's rebounding economy. Miguel Alpuche, the Orange Walk cop accused of extortion, is placed on interdiction. And nurses, they are honored and awarded for their arduous work. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Friday, May 12th, 2023.
I wanted to show them something that wasn't an illusion. Something that was real. Something that they could see and touch.
Humans and dinosaurs can't coexist. We created an ecological disaster.
Ellie Sattler.
Alan Grant.
You didn't come out all this way just to catch up now, did you?
You coming or what?
That's another plane, right?
Not exactly.
Don't move.
That'll be $50. Thank you. Wait, hey, this 50 is a fake.
How do you know it's a fake?
What are you talking about, sir? How can I identify a genuine note from a fake note?
Well, a genuine 50 has a watermark with the jaguar and the written words of the 50, also a thread.
Know your money and know a fake one when you see it. Do not rely on any one security feature. Look for the clarity and quality of printing. The printed lines and colors should be sharp and clear. Feel the quality of the paper and the raised print. Hold the note up to the light to see the windowed security thread. It should form one complete line when held up to the light. The watermark and denominational electrotype. The Jaguar is the watermark in the $100 and $50 notes. The Sleeping Giant is the watermark in the $20, $10, $5, and $2 notes. The see-through feature. The parts of the design printed on the back should fit exactly within the unprinted areas of the front to form the complete design. Check the $100 note for the toucan hologram with the periwinkle flower overprint. Tilt it to see the small images of the toucan and the numeral 100. Check the $50 note for the green foil angelfish. Check even closer. Use an ultraviolet light to see the fluorescent features. Use a magnifier to see the microlettering. Tiny letters that read Central Bank of Belize and the value of the note. Stop the circulation of counterfeit Belize currency notes. Pass all counterfeits to the police at once. It is a criminal offense to hold or use a counterfeit. Be safe. Be sure. Know your money.
Good evening, with your news, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. As we told you earlier this week, the IMF issued its report titled the 2023 Article 4 Consultation with Belize, which highlights Belize's economic performance since the COVID pandemic. The report, the IMF lauds Belize's economic growth, which greatly rebounded following the pandemic. After contracting by 13.4% in 2020, GDP expanded by 15.2% in 2021 and 12.1% in 2022. It attributed these growth achievements to retail and wholesale trade, tourism, and business process outsourcing. This kind of glowing IMF report, according to the Prime Minister, has not been seen in Belize for decades, and it is now being realized thanks to the work of GOB under Plan Belize.
We're not surprised with the report. Remember, they had already released to us a draft report. But we are very pleased that the board of directors of the IMF, for the first time in probably decades, have given a glowing report for the work that the PUP government has been doing since its inception in November of 2020. It shows that the policies that were put in place have been working, and the policies are to be able to get the economy working, to get people back working, to ensure that there can be more opportunities for investments, not only for foreigners but also for Belizeans. The usual recommendations is that, like in everything, it can change quickly. For instance, government spending, we constantly have to ensure that we are spending within the budget. We have to ensure that we could be able to collect the taxes that are necessary, that are needed for to run the country. So these are some of the things that they give at all times. So we look at them very seriously. We constantly have to remind ourselves that we have to make sure that we can control government expenditures and to spend it where it is needed in social programs, in infrastructure, in education, and in health.
It is noted also that the IMF is projecting Belize's real GDP growth to slow to 2.4% this year and 2% over the medium term as tourism returns to pre-pandemic levels. Nurses Week concluded here in Belize today with the 68th Annual Nurses Conference, which saw nurses from across the country gather at the Belize Biltmore Plaza in Belize City. Today's event included various special presentations, including by Minister of Health Honorable Kevin Bernard and the special guest speaker Rebecca Johnson, who is the Region Director for the Caribbean Nurses Association. After being unable to meet in person in several years due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Chief Nurse in the Ministry of Health, Lizette Bell, says today's event marks a special occasion for all nurses across the country.
Okay, the nursing conference is very important for nurses. It's an avenue for them to be able to experience different topics based on evidence, topics that will support them in providing better care and improve the knowledge and competencies that nurses have. It is definitely, I'm very encouraged and happy to see that we were able to really celebrate the nurses this year. In 2020, it was the year of the nurse and the midwife. However, that was the year when we had the pandemic. So since the pandemic, this is the first time we are able to gather, and I can see that the nurses really appreciate the different activities. For example, last night was our long service award ceremony for those who have worked in the service for 20 plus years and 30 plus years, and they really appreciated the recognition that we provided as the ministry. The different activities for this week, we have the different districts doing different activities, such as we had the church service ceremony in the opening. We have sports day, talent day, appreciation day, so relaxation days. And today, for those nurses who are not here at the conference, the different regions are having a special luncheon for those nurses, since today is actually Nurses Day.
Nurses, according to guest speaker Rebecca Johnson, form the backbone of the medical sector, and thus it is important to ensure that nurses are treated as such in every country across the world, especially in the Caribbean region.
One of the things I shared with them is information that if we want to go to the future, how do we prepare to get to the future that we say that we want? So I talked to them about LEARN. I gave them an acronym for LEARN, which is leadership development. If you want to go to the future, if you want to carry healthcare in the future, you have to be a leader. As a leader, that means that you're going to be knowledgeable, you're going to be professional, you're going to be respectful, you're going to be accountable and responsible. So I think once you have someone who's a leader, everything is going to be good because that leader knows how to conduct himself and how to care for themselves and how to care for their clients and their patients. And we also talked about empowerment. Empowerment really is looking after the nurses who are coming behind you. How do we prepare the next generation of nurse leaders? And so you have to be a mentor to nurses coming behind you. And then we talked about assessment, knowing where you now as a nurse, where you are now as a nursing in Belize, and where do you want to go. So we have to be honest with ourselves. I talked to them about doing a SWOT analysis, looking at our strengths and our weaknesses, threats, and opportunities, and how we can do a SWOT analysis, honest, objective SWOT analysis to decide where we are now as nurses and where we can move, how we can move to the future. And I talked about research. Research is very important. We need to do research. We need to be actively involved in research, and not only do the research, share the information, and also apply it in our practice. And then I talked about networking and knowing that nurses, we're not alone. There are some more than 27, even though we have a nursing shortage around the world, we have approximately 27 million nurses. So I wanted to let them know they're not alone. There are a lot of us, and we're here to support each other in improving healthcare to our clients and improving nursing and advancing the nursing profession.
One of the major challenges being faced by countries across the region is a major shortage of trained nurses, and so the Caribbean Nurses Association encourages trainees to remain in their country of origin to serve their own people.
I just want to encourage them that nursing is an awesome career. I wouldn't tell you how long I've been in nursing, but I have enjoyed every minute. I think the key thing in nursing is to get in the area that's best suited to you. That's one of the problems you have. Sometimes persons come into nursing, but they might end up in an area that's not suited to them. I'm in pediatrics. I love it. You find some persons who don't like pediatrics. It's not for everybody. And so once you come into the nursing, you find the area that you best suited for, that you love, it's going to be an awesome lifetime experience. You meet so many persons, you're able to impact so many lives. And if you come to work every day, say, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to take care of my patients, I'm going to look after the families, and I'm going to do the very best I can. You go with, it's an awesome feeling. It is, I'm telling you, it is a wonderful feeling. I can't think of many days I went home that I don't want to come, don't feel like I'm happy to be a nurse. So I just want to encourage them. It is wonderful. And there's so many opportunities locally, globally. There's just so many opportunities. Nurses are needed all over the world. But of course, you want to encourage them to stay in Belize. Thank you. And take care of your people at home. It's very important for nurses to be in their country, to take care of their people. I feel it's very important. Nobody can take care of your people like you can.
Across the country, other activities, including special luncheons and fairs, were organized in celebration of Nursing Day, which is celebrated today. Miguel Alpucha is the Orange Walk police officer that was charged for extortion in April for an incident that happened last June. According to official information, the cop tried to squeeze $200 from an elderly grandmother when her granddaughter saw herself involved in a traffic accident. While the DPP's office sent out directive for his detention and charge since September last year, Miguel Alpucha was only detained by his fellow colleagues on April 19, 2023. On a nightly talk show, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams made clarifications why it was that the disgraced law enforcement officer still appeared to work even after being charged.
In 2017, 850 requests were denied.
Okay.
And 895 were approved.
Okay.
In 2019, 300 were denied and 499 were approved. But remember, in 2019 was when I just took over.
Okay.
And when I took over, there were some discrepancies. So I had placed gun license on hold for at least 3 months.
Okay.
Right? So that's why the number would have been so low. In 2020, 354 were denied and 419 were approved.
Okay.
In 2021, 531 were denied and 767 were approved. In 2022, 309 were denied and 808 and 782 were approved. So there's no significant increase. Of course, you have an increased population. So the application is going to increase. There's a greater demand. People opening businesses, people, like you rightly said, feel insecure to some extent, and they want to be able to protect themselves. But going back again to the leader of the opposition, speaking about the right to bear arms. Like I said, Jules.
Which is not a right in belief.
It is not a right. Like I said, for me, you must meet certain threshold. And I don't think that the leader of the opposition have any moral authority to speak about who should and who should not bear arms. He don't have that moral authority.
Because he was involved in a gun incident, you believe?
Yes, and he have a gun license. I personally, I would not approve a gun license for a person who have a conviction that the leader of the opposition has. I would not do that. But the commissioner.
But you approved.
I was not the one.
You were not the commissioner.
No.
Okay.
The commissioner then, in his wisdom, saw the need and approved it for him. No offense to that. He's the leader of opposition now. He's a reformed man, like he said. I give him credit for that. But
in court, Alpuche appeared unrepresented and took a not guilty plea. He will reappear in court on August 17, 2023. When we made checks, we confirmed Miguel Alpuche is now on interdiction. Prime Minister John Briceño is in Antigua, Guatemala, attending the 9th Summit of the Heads of State and/or Government of the Association of Caribbean States, ACS. Today's meeting is the first since 2019 and is being held in a historical context marked by the post-COVID-19 pandemic, the humanitarian crisis represented by climate change, and the war in Eastern Europe. In his remarks, Prime Minister Briceño called for increased regional coordination and collaboration to tackle political, economic, social, and environmental crises. First, the COVID-19 pandemic battered our economies both in terms of production losses and significant increase in our debt burden. These challenges are now further exacerbated by conflict in Europe. However, we should not lose sight of the fact that even before these more recent global events, the structural challenges hampering development were already entrenched, the Prime Minister stated. In terms of economics, the consequences of the conflict in Eastern Europe have been felt around the world, with the rising cost of wheat, fertilizers, and oil, meaning that regardless of political views, the cost of living for our people has gone up, along with rising food insecurity, he added. The Prime Minister noted that the challenges faced by member states are more homogeneous than we realize. He reiterated that addressing these obstacles requires a concerted effort of national governments, international agencies, non-state actors, and perhaps most importantly, the private sector. The ACS must transform itself into a hub of sustained dialogue among the named actors to find actionable solutions in the areas identified. I will end my remarks on a positive note. The ACS has been in existence for over 29 years, and this 9th summit demonstrates a high-level political commitment of the contracting states, countries, and territories to maintain this forum for consultation, cooperation, and concerted action, despite the naysayers, he further stated. The ACS was established in 1994 to promote consultation, cooperation, and concerted action among all countries of the Caribbean. The organization comprises 25 member states and 3 associate members. Animal lovers and the community at large, you will appreciate the following story involving a jaguar. Apparently, a jaguar has been lingering along the ferry outside Copperbank village in the Corozal district. Incredibly, the animal fell asleep on the ferry. Fortunately, the persons who found the cat are animal lovers. A trio operation successfully captured the jaguar. We recognize those organizations involved: Corozal Sustainable Future Initiative, Pantera, and the Belize Forestry Department. The images were posted to social media by Belize Wildlife Web. Late this evening, we were told the team is arduously ironing up the details in order to safely release the jaguar to an unknown location in the dense forest where it can be safe and not be a danger to humans. Coming up next, Minister of Education speaks on internal problems of the BNTU. Stay tuned.
Students and children are important to us. That's why Mayor Lodrick Shepherd and your Orange Walk Town Council have started the construction of a new sidewalk that starts at the gate of Muffles College and will go all the way into Tate Street, passing in front of Chapel School. This will keep children out of vehicular danger, making the area a child-friendly zone. We will continue to create infrastructure to safeguard our children. We will continue to work for you and with you, because only together progress continues.
Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Come on!
When hungry or craving, when laughter or tears, enjoy the best snacking or flavors are here. Asadas, bocadas, chiladas, doradas, delicious for snacking, done right and done here.
Done right, done here.
Something's been bothering me a little. I have done all the things a wife is supposed to do. The house, the meals. Where is the payback? I'm very attracted to you.
Oh.
Would you be interested in having an affair? You two just looked at each other like you got a secret. I just don't want anybody to get hurt.
Tonight, Ruth Showman remains in her capacity as the newly elected president of the BNTU after she withdrew her resignation letter. Showman resigned from the post after she felt that she was being treated unfairly by the union's Council of Management. Showman's past came back to haunt her when members of the Council of Management found out about a past criminal complaint made against her and used it to allegedly discredit her. By Tuesday afternoon, an emergency meeting was held by the BNTU, and as it ended, outgoing President Elena Smith confirmed that Showman did not attend the meeting but rescinded her resignation letter. While the issue certainly puts to question the unity of the largest union in Belize, Minister of Education Francis Fonseca says he is ready to work with the BNTU's executive.
I'm glad that the BNTU has resolved these internal issues. I hope they will not, continue to be, have any negative impact on their work, because I have great respect for the BNTU and their long history of service to Belize. So I look forward to working with the BNTU executive. The new president-elect will take office, I believe, in July. And so we look forward to working with her and her team. We've always, during my time as Minister of Education, enjoyed a good, working, respectful relationship with the BNTU executive. And so we hope that that will continue. These are old issues that have been fully ventilated. I was aware of that. Mrs. Ruth Schumann has been a very active, effective member of the BNTU for many, many years. So I was shocked to hear that they were bringing this up at this point, when in every meeting that I have been in over the past 2 years as Minister of Education, she has been at those meetings forcefully representing the teachers and the BNTU very passionately and effectively. So I think she was rewarded for that, for her hard work by the membership. They recognized her leadership capacity and qualities, and they wanted her to lead them. So I was very, very shocked and really disappointed to see people trying to undermine her leadership so shortly after she had been elected. But I'm happy it's resolved now and we can move forward. And as I said, I look forward to a good working relationship with the President and the entire team moving forward, because we have a lot of good work to do together.
In light of recent murders involving unlicensed firearms, the United Democratic Party, UDP, has expressed concerns about the increasing number of gun licenses being issued. The party has called for a moratorium on new licenses and a review of the current criteria. They argued that the rise in licensed firearms is contributing to the culture of violence. But Campo Williams argues that there has not been a hike in the issuance of gun licenses. In fact, he says since he becomes the top cop of the Belize Police Department, it's tougher to get one's application approved.
Answer the question.
Sir, and then moving on to the final stuff. Corporal Miguel Alpuche, you talk about how
in 2017, 850 requests were denied.
Okay.
And 895 were approved.
Okay.
In 2019, 300 were denied and 499 were approved. But remember, in 2019 was when I just took over.
Okay.
And when I took over, there were some discrepancies. So I had placed gun license on hold for at least 3 months.
Okay.
Right? So that's why the number would have been so low. In 2020, 354 were denied and 419 were approved.
Okay.
In 2021, 531 were denied and 767 were approved. In 2022, 309 were denied and 782 were approved. So there's no significant increase. Of course, you have an increased population. So the application is going to increase. There's a greater demand. People opening businesses, people, like you rightly said, feel insecure to some extent, and they want to be able to protect themselves. But going back again to the leader of the opposition, speaking about the right to bear arms. Like I said, Jules,
which is not a right in Belize.
It's not a right. like I said, for me, you must meet certain threshold. And I don't think that the leader of the opposition have any moral authority to speak about who should or who should not bear arms. He don't have that moral authority.
Because he was involved in a gun incident, you believe?
Yes, and he have a gun license. I personally, I would not approve a gun license for a person who have a conviction that the leader of the opposition has. I would not do that. But the commissioner
But
then,
you approved.
I was not the one
You
who
were not the
approved that.
commissioner.
No.
Okay.
The commissioner then, in his wisdom, saw the need and approved it for him. No offense to that. He's the leader of opposition now. He's a reformed man, like he said. I give him credit for that. But when you live in a glass house, not throw stone.
Shine Barrow received approval for a gun license when his father was the Prime Minister of Belize, but the country had another Commissioner of Police. Williams was appointed Commissioner of Police in 2019. A family here in Orange Walk Town is seeking the public's assistance in helping to cover medical expenses. Young Shanira Garcia was recently flown to Mexico City to receive medical treatment after she was diagnosed with a brain tumor earlier this week. The young woman is currently in Mexico where she will receive a life-saving operation. Her family here in Belize are doing their utmost best to gather the funds needed for this surgery and costs needed for her to recover in Mexico. Her older brother has taken to social media to seek the public's assistance. The family will be carrying out a barbecue sale here in Orange Walk Town this weekend in the hopes of raising much needed funds to help save Shanira's life. The barbecue sale will be taking place at the family residence at number 61 Palmer Road starting at 10 a.m. Anyone wishing to help the Garcia family in their efforts to save their loved one can contact them at phone number 621-8801 or 632-1973. The Queen Kong season will end on Sunday, May 14, 2023, since the Queen Kong production quota for the 2022-2023 fishing season has been completed. The fishing community is informed that all conch fishing activities must stop on this date until the next fishing season begins on October 1st, 2023. It's important to respect this closure and refrain from harvesting or purchasing queen conch during this time, the Ministry of Blue Economy and Civil Aviation said in a statement posted on social media. By doing so, we can help ensure the sustainability of this important species and protect our marine ecosystem. The Fisheries Department Belize also advises restaurant owners and everyone else who may have conch in their possession to use up or dispose of all queen conch meat in their possession on or before Sunday, May 14, 2023. MBECA asks all concerned to do our part to support responsible and sustainable fishing practices in Belize. The Fisheries Department said any illegal fisheries activity may be reported by calling 224-4552 or 223-2623. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Monday, May 15th, here on CTV3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read the text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at CTV3NewsBZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, have a safe and pleasant weekend. Thank you for watching and listening. Good night.